Hi everyone, this is Aruna and I'm happy to meet you again with a new video session on the topic called Dress in Communication. Let's move to the lesson. The two keywords of the title, dress and communication, are familiar to all of us. We know what is dress and its role, and also we know what is communication. Communication is a process which helps us to express our emotions or feelings and convey our thoughts to other people. So in order to keep the process of communication, we are highly depending on the help of languages. Can we communicate to someone without the help of languages? Is it possible? Yes, of course, it's possible. We are communicating, and also we can communicate so many things to the other people without the help of the languages, and that is called as non-verbal communication. So the communication process with the help of language is called verbal communication, and the communication process without the help of language is called non-verbal communication. Let's see some examples of this non-verbal communication. Everybody has seen a policeman who is standing on the middle of the road and guiding the riders and drivers of the vehicles to follow some instructions by simply waving or moving his hands. And we have also seen a newsreader who reads the news for the people, those who don't have the ability to speak or hear. Deaf and dumb. That news also doesn't have a language, but the reader conveys the message to them only with the help of his or her hand movements. These things are coming under the non-verbal communication. Not only these two categories of people are involving in non-verbal communication, all of us are involving in the process of non-verbal communication. I hope for the first time we are realizing that we are also involving in non-verbal communication. Yes, we are definitely, all of us are involving with the help of our body language like eye contact, facial expression, gestures, postures. Our dress also communicates so many things about us to the other people. The first one is eye contact. Eye contact is one of the most important elements in non-verbal communication because whether we are listening or not will be easily revealed through the eye contact. If someone avoids contacting others' eye while talking, it shows that they are not confident or they have a kind of inferiority complex within themselves. Next, facial expression. Of course, face is the index of the mind, so our face can easily express what we think in our mind. So be careful about the facial expression. And if you are a speaker, please take care of the facial expressions of your audience also. It may tell you so many things, whether you have to continue or whether you have to stop, whether it is interesting or whether it is boring. All these things will be easily expressed through the face of the audience. Next is gestures. Gestures means the use of one's head, hands and legs during a conversation or communication process. A slight nodding of head shows that you are involving yourself into the process of communication. It gives the confidence to the speaker to proceed further. And some people will move their hands unwantedly or break their knuckles during the process of conversation or communication. That should be avoided. Next is postures. Postures say how we handle things. When we are given a chair or a pen or even some papers, how we handle them, that comes under postures. So for example, if you want to sit on the chair, you should not sit at the edge of the chair. At the same time, you should not sit very relaxed. Our body should be in a 90-degree position. And the way of holding the pen, some people will hold it by shivering hands. And also some people have the habit of rolling the papers in their hands, or they may tear or fold the papers. All these things will tell about our psychological condition to the people whom observe us. Next is postures. Postures denotes how we use our body during the process of communication or conversation. The way we sit, the way we stand, the way we use the objects what we have in our hands, all these things come under the category of postures. The last and the most important thing is dress, because dress is the first thing which forms an impression about us in the mind of the other people, and it is given the topmost priority in the non-verbal communication process. Now in this lesson we are going to learn how our dresses play a vital role in the process of non-verbal communication, and how we can effectively present ourselves with the help of our dressing and grooming. That things form the crux of this lesson. Don't judge a book by its cover is a famous proverb in English which tells us that we should not judge a person by their dressings or by their appearance. But it is not at all easy to follow this proverb in our life, because dress is seen as a reflection of one's social, economical, educational and mental status. Let's move on to the author's observations about the role of dress in communication. In the first paragraph, the author quoted a statement that clothes make the man or woman. The readers may think it is an exaggeration, but no, it is the fact, because people will judge us by the dress what we wear, and the first impression which fall on their mind is based on our dressings alone. So our dress can be our best friends if we dress properly, and it can be our worst enemy if we don't dress properly. In the next paragraph, the author says that our dresses tell more things about us to the people before we open our mouth and speak. Psychologists also strengthen this point by saying that 90% of what people remembered about a non-verbal communication is one's dressings and their gestures, postures, and their manners. William Dowbey, in his book called You Are What You Wear, says that if a person wants to be successful in his life and he wants to gain the favorable judgment from others, he has to be very, very careful about his dressings and grooming, because the dress one wears makes himself, and he will be judged upon the basis of his dressing and grooming. In the next paragraph, our author says that a person's looks have specific meaning in our society. Though we know it is wrong to judge a person by his appearance or his dressings, still we follow the same tradition of judging a person by their appearance alone. No one is ready to believe a person who wears wrinkled clothes and who always remains unclean and with uncombed hair, because he conveys the message that he doesn't care about anything or anybody. At the same time, if a person dresses appropriately according to the situation, and if he grooms himself well, he is welcomed in all the occasions, because he easily earns the people's belief, and also he displays his competence and self-confidence through his dressings and grooming. Along with the dressings, the textures of the clothes and the lines of the clothes also transfer some information about us to the people. People who wear soft textures of clothes always wants to be very friendly, and they mingle with people very, very easily. And the people who think themselves as efficient and a royal one always prefer crisp textures. And the lines also indicate a person's personality. If a person wears the dress with the strict lines, he is a rigid person, and if he prefers a free flow of lines on his dresses, it shows that He is very flexible and ready to accept changes. Okay, we have come to the end of the lesson. I'll read the lines one by one and explain the points. First one, at times clothes are the only visible clues to one's personality. That is, in most of the times, we are judged by the clothes what we wear. So one must be very careful about his choice of dress. Second point, our dresses not only reveal our characters but also our moods like anger, aggressiveness, uncertainty, and also depression. Our basic knowledge about these nonverbal clues will help us to understand people easily. When we understand a person's personality and psychology, it is easy for us to establish and maintain a friendship with them. The fourth one, while analyzing other people's personality and psychology with the help of their appearance and behavior, we also should be very careful about our own appearance and demeanor because we will be judged on the basis of those things. Fifth point, a man should try to highlight his positive aspects with the help of his dressings and groomings because a proper dressing will boost up his abilities and confidence and also lift his self-esteem. So we must be very careful while we choosing the dress for ourselves because dresses are the self-portrayal of oneself to the society.